Gaon Vilna, alav shalom, one time he heard that one of his students, his main student, the Rabbi Chaim Volozhin, came into town, and he sent a message, get him to come to my house immediately. It was a Friday afternoon. They went, got Rabbi Chaim Volozhin. Rabbi Chaim comes into the house, and he writes this in the book. He says, I see the Gdol Adol, the Gaon Vilna, he's in a robe, he has something on his head because he has a huge headache, some lemon and this and that, and he looks like a mess. His eyes are bloodshot red. The wife is crying, the grandma's crying, everybody's in a mess, and he's pacing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I said, Kvod Rav, everything okay? He said, Rabbi Chaim, you have to do this. What is the pshat on this Rambam? Huh? What? What is the Rambam saying here? He goes, Kvod Rav, I'm your student. You're asking me to give you the commentary, the understanding, the explanation on the Rambam. He says, I command you right now to give me the pshat, meaning the basic meaning of what is the Rambam saying here. Chaim takes the book, looks at it for a few minutes. It says, this is the pshat. And he tells him what it says. At that moment, the Gaon Vilna sits down. He says to his wife, please, I need to eat. After everything settles down, he finds out from the wife, the Gaon Vilna has not slept for 3 days. 3 days, he's pacing back and forth in his house. No eating, no drinking, no sleeping, no nothing. Why? Because he's trying to get to the bottom of what is the Rambam saying here. Now you may think the Gaon Vilna is eccentric, he's crazy, he's something, but that means we're crazy. Why? Because the difference between us and the Gaon Vilna is that he understood the significance of knowing what is the Torah saying here. What is the Rambam saying here? What is Hashem saying here? He understood the significance of it, of how it changes the world, his world, our world, every world, by actually knowing the basic understanding of what does it mean. What does this mean? To such an extent that as soon as he ran into something where he couldn't understand what he meant, he couldn't sleep. He couldn't allow himself to sleep. He couldn't allow himself to eat. He couldn't allow himself to drink, to nothing, because he understood the significance. We, Baruch Hashem, go to sleep every night with 500 questions unanswered with no problem. We sleep like babies. Why? Because we really don't understand the significance of knowing the answer. Now, why did the Gaon Vilna get to such a point? Because he dedicated his time throughout his entire life to such an extent that at the end of his days, when he was on his deathbed, his students testified to seeing him laughing and crying at the same time. He said, Kvod Rav, why are you laughing? Why are you crying? He says, I'm crying because I'm leaving a world where for $20, in those days money obviously, with $20 you can make a mitzvah every second called tzitzit. For $5 you can make a mitzvah and a kiddush Hashem every second as a woman by covering your hair with a mitpachat. Every second. It's kiddush Hashem, it's mitzvah deoraita. Every second you have it. For $5 you can make a mitzvah. For $10, $20 you can buy a tzitzit. I'm living a world where for every second I can make a mitzvah for nothing. Whereas once I go to this real world, the eternal world, even if I give them all the money in the world, I still can't make one mitzvah. I'm leaving such a world, such a wonderful place. That's why you're crying? He goes, well, no. I'm crying because not only am I leaving it, but I'm leaving it after doing calculations that in 83 years, there's a few moments I don't know what I did. Since I can make a mitzvah in every single second, And this mitzvah is so valuable in the next world. I want to make sure that I utilize every second. I'm now 83 years old, and I know I'm doing the calculation. 83 years, there's a few moments in those 83 years. A few moments, I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did the mitzvah or not. Alvay alenu to have a few moments in every minute that we don't know what we did. We burn hours and hours every single day not doing anything. People tell me, oh no, I've just been doing nothing all day. What do you mean doing nothing all day? No, I just burned some time, had some coffee, went to Starbucks, went to this place, went to that, watched a movie, just burned a few hours, but now I'm here. Just burned a few hours like nothing. Why? Because we don't understand the value of time. So what does it mean? What's the value of actually not burning time? His students ask him, okay, so now we know why you're crying for the Rav. Why are you laughing? He says, because I remember reading that they say that the tzaddikim, when they die, they get tzaddikim to welcome them. And I never knew where I stood, but now I know. Why? I see my father and Yaakov Avinu. Right here, behind you. And my father is telling Yaakov Avinu, look what kind of son I'm bringing you. Look what kind of son I'm bringing you. That's a person that didn't waste any time. First reason is because he understood the value of knowing the truth, first and foremost. Second thing is, he understood that not necessarily everything in the Torah is going to be easy to understand. But you have to fight for it, because that's in essence the point, that's the purpose. He understood the value of chasing the pshat, chasing the truth, however long it took. And he never went to sleep, meaning he never just let it go. Like he had a big question and he just let it go. That's what we do a lot of times. A lot of times there's questions. I remember myself, when I was young, I had a lot of questions. I would ask one or two people the question, especially when it came to Judaism. And if nobody had the answer, or if the answer they gave me wasn't really good, I just let it go. It's like, oh, this, yes, no, maybe. I let it go and moved on. The reality is, Rabotai, that if you let things go, you're never going to get to a life without worry. And that's what a life with Bitachon is.